How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Um, I'm alive and kicking, as Simple Minds wrote in their 80s pop rock song. Do you know that song?
I have not heard that song.
Oh man, you haven't lived. Man, you have not.
I haven't left. Oh my
You,
god, I need to listen to the song then,
you
huh?
have not. You have not lived. Simple Minds, alive and kicking. Oh my god. Oh my god! Of course, being Scottish and them being a Scottish band, right?
Ah,
That's that's a powerful connection right there. So, um, I give to you, love is.
well, I'm just gonna pull that up song
Yeah, the chorus is love is alive and kicking. Love is alive and kicking, man.
from the Once Upon a Time album.
That's a great album, man. That's a great album. Alive and kicking, and what else was it? Don't you forget about me, man. Do you know that Simple Minds?
I know that song.
Oh, it's like the same. This like the same year. I think it was
Oh,
the same
okay.
year, right? So it's when they were at the pinnacle of their pop rock. I don't know,
Yeah.
mountain career, wherever. They were actually playing about 100 kilometers from where I am right now. They were playing the other
Oh
day.
wow, you could have just gotten there in
I,
like an hour
yeah, I could have.
or or two.
Or two. It would take about an hour. They were playing somewhere up in the Highlands, and I saw it in the
Okay,
local newspaper, and I was like, my God, those guys are still alive. 'Cause-
that's amazing. Well, they are alive and kicking.
oh, that's a joke, man.
You know what? Like, hey, you guys still alive and kicking?
Oh, it's a great
Yes,
song to
we are
write when
Simple Minds.
you're really young, right? You write it when you're really young, and then when you're really old, you can like stand in front of
Yeah.
thousands of people and go, "We are still alive and kicking." Wow.
Where's Callie?
she's,
I sent
she's
her
gone
the
back to
link.
Callie. I don't know, man. I
Like,
don't know. So is this the link? Yes.
you coming in? I'm gonna
Um,
message her.
no, no. Maybe she's stuck in the doorway. I don't know. Maybe she's paddling her way across the basement.
Yeah, maybe she. See, yeah, you have to say that when she's on here because she's not gonna get the joke.
Well, look, I understand. I understand
She's not
about
hearing
flooding.
it.
We can talk
She
about
needs to
that.
hear this.
I've got. Yeah.
Yeah, flooding is a pain. She needs to power up her laptop because she was on her
Oh,
phone.
okay.
Oops.
Okay. That's
Dude, I need a new computer. This is not
everybody
working.
need.
It's very
Everybody
slow.
needs a new computer, man. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who says, "Wow, I've got the most excellent, fantastic computer. Everything's just all peachy."
Oh my god. It's crazy. I mean, I just got this computer
And
like
you're saying,
3 months ago, but I bought a like a 2013 model, and I was like, this is gonna be great. And I'm editing video, and all of a sudden the CPU is just 100%.
"Oh, okay.
I'm like, dude, you
Man,
got two GPUs in here. Why don't you use some of that power? And it's like, and I'm reading all about it, and then they're like, oh, you need the new Intels have quick sync technology that helps edit the H.264 video. I was like, my God.
Well,
The good old days.
you can but dream, my friend. You can but dream
I know.
that these things will.
Yeah, I know. Those still free right now.
What's up?
Dreams are free.
Dreams are free.
Dreams are free.
Yeah, until the Total Recall chips kick in, man. And
That's right. Like, sorry.
yeah, you'll never know.
Yeah, dude.
You'll never know.
Yeah, that's true. So I love the "Forget About Me" song. Don't you forget about me. Classic '85. Oh,
Well, that was in the soundtrack to The Breakfast Club. I don't know if you know
Oh,
your
I've heard of the Breakfast Club.
it's the Brat Pack Hollywood teenage films of the 80s. It's the Ferris Bueller's Day Off sort of
Oh, I
genre.
loved Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorite movies.
yeah. So this I don't know. It's like 5, 6 kids are stuck in the
Yeah.
school for the weekend in detention, and they
Okay.
it's a classic story of people who would never talk to each other stuck in a room together. Right,
Okay.
right.
Now you gotta engage, right?
Yeah. Exactly. It's a let's see, a less violent and user-friendly version of The Cube. If you've seen that movie, have you seen The Cube?
The Cube.
The Cube, where it's like the group of people wake up in a
No.
room together and they don't know how they got there, and it turns out to be a maze where they have to use their skills to escape from it
Okay.
in it's created by the mind of some psychotic person, blah blah blah. And I won't tell you what happens.
Don't tell me what
that
happens
would,
because I might
I, won't-
watch it.
I
Got a lot
won't
of
tell you what
movies on the
happens,
list.
but
Okay.
it's one of those you start watching it and you just know, but
Yeah.
you hope something different happens.
Well, Callie just showed up,
Okay.
and health check is pending.
Do.
We might hear her.
We might.
Hey, Callie.
Hi.
This is Junaid.
Is there?
She's here.
Huh?
Can you hear us both?
Yes, I can hear you.
Super
Fantastic. We're yeah.
How do we communicate? Oh,
We just talk.
okay.
We just talk and jump in, and Callie might need to come
Okay.
closer to the microphone.
Okay. You know what? I have an external mic I might plug in if that might help.
That might be cool.
Okay.
Every
Let me know if it's too
little
much.
helps. Every little thing helps. Man, I had these thoughts recently about the 80s, yeah, because I grew up there. It's kind of my later teenage years, and I was just like the
Mhm.
innocence, man, the innocence of
Yeah.
that period of time.
Oh my God.
The ultimate freedom of mid-teenage years, when like not everybody's childhood is great. I get it. So some people go through hell and problems, but I had I had a relatively sort of free reign of space to live within at that point in time in my life. I did my stuff at school, and I had hobbies and interests, and I could kind of just go where I wanted, do what I wanted,
Yeah.
didn't have to worry about stuff. No job, no bills to pay, kind of lifestyle.
Mhm. Yeah. I think my 80s and 90s were around the same type where I could just go wherever I wanted, right? I mean, growing up in Saudi
Wow,
is a little
you grew up
different,
there? Yeah.
but I still have the freedom.
Wow.
Yeah, I grew up in Riyadh and go to school. My dad would always drop us off and pick us up. I don't think there was a bus service. If there was, my dad was not comfortable with it. She's like, I'll just drop you guys off. Like, okay.
The school, I couldn't get in. The school bus stopped outside my front door.
Yeah.
The school, there was no escape. You couldn't say I missed the bus because it
No.
stopped.
Like, dude,
It's there.
it's right
It's there,
there.
and it would go down the road to the next village,
Yeah.
and the next village was the end of the line, and it would turn around and come back. Right. So it would pass my door twice.
Yeah.
It was,
Fine, we'll get you on the way back.
I know that was.
Pick you up. Well, my son is also, taking the school bus. Last year he was in a different school because we were living somewhere else, and then we moved here. So I still had to drive him over to his grandma's place, and that's where the bus would come. So sometimes he'd miss the bus, and I would drop him to the school. But now the school bus just goes past our house. It stops right down the street. So it's so much easier. Like, hey, your school bus is going to come. You're going to miss him. And then he rushes out. Like, all right, I'm out of here. Like, oh, I've got 30 minutes back in my life.
I know. Oh, my story gets even worse because
Yeah.
not only did the bus pass the door twice, but my mother was a teacher at the school. Right?
You coming with me? No
So if
way.
I missed the
Are
bus
you
twice,
going
she'd be like,
first
"You're
bill
coming with
on
me."
Hey, Callie, were you able to get back in?
I am here. My microphone that wasn't a good idea.
Oh,
But so I'm on without it. So hopefully you can hear me.
we can hear you.
Yeah, today is my 39th birthday. So I think it sounds like
Happy
you.
birthday.
Happy birthday
That is
to
so,
you.
oh my God. It's
sorry.
your day too. Yeah.
Okay,
Let's sing the song. Let's do the song, right?
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to. That'll do, I think. I
Yeah.
don't remember. How does it go?
How does it go? What's the next one? No, what's funny is my cousin, he turned 39 today as well.
You know, I think October
I know,
is
right?
the 1st and the 2nd are like the most popular birthdays because it's like 9 months from January 1st.
Oh.
So,
Happy New Year!
Oh my God, you're so right.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
exactly.
yeah. Happy New Year.
Wow.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
Oh my God. I never thought of it that way. I just never did. It's like till somebody,
Points it out.
points it out, like, oh, smack. That's so true. Oh,
It's obvious when someone says it, but you just don't think about it, right?
yeah.
Because there's a lot of water under the bridge between Christmas and October.
Yeah, there is. It's almost a whole year is gone.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. 2018 was really fast for me.
Actually, it was my son's birthday last week.
Oh. Okay, so that was Christmas.
Happy birthday to me. No, anyway, never mind. Anyway, well, that explains. I never thought about it like that before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, Callie.
right. That's. I'm never gonna think about things in quite the same way again. Actually.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh my God.
It always takes a woman's perspective to look on things,
Yeah. I guess it does. I guess it does. Because the guy's not thinking about that, right? Because
Because they have to go through the process, like, and I have an 8-month-old baby right now, and
so how's that
exciting.
going? How's it going? Okay. Everything cool?
It's going good. Yeah, she's crawling. She's getting into things and finding out what she likes more than other things. Like she won't play much with her own toys.
Okay.
She wants her brother's toys.
Yeah, the forbidden fruit always tastes sweeter.
Oh man.
Right? Maybe.
So Graham, where do we start?
At the beginning, I think. Whatever that means. I thought we were going to talk. I thought the subject just changed to flooding. Actually, I thought we were going to forget parenting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about water. No, I need an update now because I'm intrigued because
we need to know what's going on.
Yeah, because there was a picture you posted, a picture of like your garden and the kids stuff underwater.
Well, we've been blasted with rain like nonstop the past couple weeks. Well, we had like 2 days of it where it let up like 2 days ago, and then it like last night it came full force, and now we have like 2 floods. Not only that, like my 3-year-old, he took his boots and his rain gear and went splashing in it, and it was seriously up to his waist in this water in our backyard, and all of our neighbors runoff. So we're like the lowest point of the 4 houses around us, and so their sump pumps, like 2 of their sump pumps plus our sump pump, goes into our backyard, and then all the runoff from everybody else coming down the hill is like accumulating there. So that's where we are in our backyard, and now it's like leaking into our basement. Our area though, for the most part, it's kind of known for flooding.
That's crazy. It's really hard to contain water that's accumulated in your yard because you can't really use rain barrels for that.
Yeah, you can't really stop it falling out of the sky.
No.
Another problem.
You
I
can
think.
slow it down. Not really.
How do other people deal with it in the area? What do neighbors do? Are they flooded as well, or?
Well, everybody's on pumps and shopping.
That's
And I looked for umbrellas today, and everybody was out on umbrellas. So.
Well, when we were hit with the similar situation, and I had water coming in from the basement door because the drainage was clogged from leaves, and the water came in the house. I'm like, great, and it's so I could see like my house is not 100% horizontal, it's more dipping towards the back, so the back wall is getting most of the water. It's sinking on one side, so I was like, all right, and I need to go get a shop vac, and I go to the store, and they're like, we had a ton of them this past weekend, and all of us, and they're all gone.
Yeah.
He's like, I wonder why. Everybody's running to get some. So luckily, I was able to call some place, and they had one available.
Help me out, guys. What is this thing? Pumps water out, or what are you talking about? I'm confused. Help me out.
So shop, it's basically a vacuum. It sucks up vacuum, and it'll store it in its own container.
Oh, so it's like a vacuum for water, basically. Vacuum sucks up the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's good. The local river here floods, and it floods and runs right down the road in front of the house. So it comes right up to our door, and it stops like about a centimeter before coming into the house. And it's kind of cool that the house is like elevated slightly, but that's kind of freaky because you wake up in the morning and you open the windows and you look out the front and there's no road, there's just a river going past your house. And then there's these people with boats going up and down. You're like, okay, this is a bit much.
Wow. Right?
It's like, wait, did we move to Venice overnight?
I know. Usually you get a call from the police to say, the river's flooding. And we're like, yeah, and what are we supposed to do about that, right? They're like, would you...
I see it from my window.
Somebody in the village usually calls the police and tells them it's flooding, and then the police call back to tell everyone in the village that the water's flooding. And we're like, we know, we live here. For God's sake. It's a bit mad, and there's the houses on the here's more craziness. The houses on the other side of the road, they all get flooded. Wow. All of them. They're all underwater, right? But the houses on my side of the road, they're all safe.
Yeah.
Right. So we're all looking out the window, and everyone else on the other side trying all the water out.
They're all safe. It's like,
yeah, well, it's like people buy those houses and they've been like bought and sold a number of times.
The house on the other side of the road.
I don't know, 15, 20 years. And you wonder, right? You begin to wonder if, the people who are buying it know what they're getting into. Because, obviously they come along in the middle of summer and they see that little cottage in the Highland that looks really beautiful and the garden's all very nice and everything's great. They don't tell you that in January you have to swim from one room to another.
It's like, this house is a special feature. It goes underwater, and you can talk to the Atlantis people.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit wild. I mean, people try all kinds of stuff. They like build special walls around their garden, but water doesn't listen.
No.
So no,
it doesn't listen. No,
kind of goes its own way. The people on the golf course like it though, because all the fish get stuck in the bunkers, and they can go and pick them up. So I'm serious. The people.
Hey, honey, I'm going fishing. I mean, golfing.
What do they just walk in nets and scoop them out of?
Yes, that's exactly what they do.
Oh my God, it's funny.
There used to be a park that would flood in my hometown. The river would overflow, and that's what people would do. They'd go in with nets and catch fish.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, obviously the fish are confused because, like, one minute they're swimming down a big river, and the next minute they're like, "Where'd the river go?"
It's like,
what are all these small white round things in here? Where do all these balls come from? What is that? The eggs? What is this?
Who pulled the river right under my feet?
Yeah. So it's a bit mad, but I don't know. It happens like 3-4 times a year, and And as I said, our house doesn't get affected.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
it's kind of lucky though. I mean, it's like every time it floods, it's like it's like it comes up to like 1 centimeter away from the
Yeah.
door, and everyone's really worried. We got all these sandbags. We got these big sandbags, and we drag them out to the front of the house and build a wall.
Yeah.
But the water doesn't listen.
It's not gonna-
Right?
Yeah,
So,
doesn't listen. That's funny.
Yeah.
People must be thinking you know how they say the grass is greener on the other side.
there's a reason.
The houses are drier on the other side of the road.
Why is this house so cheap? I wonder.
Oh.
Oh well. No, never mind. And it's there's others connected to that, is it at all dry, or have you lost stuff? Is it like going to be really expensive to repair? I mean, what's the damage report?
No, well, not for us. I don't know about other places, but I'm just trying to keep on top of it, keeping the shop back running. And
what do the kids think about it?
I don't know. The little ones, I think they're too little to really get it. My 3-year-old, he loves that he can go swimming in the backyard. He was out there waist deep in this water with his big boots and he was going down that slide, splashing into the water.
Oh wow, that's so cool. When you got when the slide is wet, it's like twice as fast, no? And you kind of slide down into the water and make a big splash. That's kind of really cool. I had this slide in my old house, and when the summers, and this is out in Europe because I lived out in the mountains there for a while, and really hot in summer. We get this slide in the back garden, and the house was on a hill, so I bought the longest sheet of plastic that I could find, which was like 20 meters long, and I laid it out on the grass at the bottom of the slide, and then sprayed water onto the plastic. The kids would come down the slide onto the plastic and like down this 20 meters of plastic down the garden. It is so cool for kids. If you've got a hill and you've got access to water, that's just like the best water slide ever to do. So there's my little recommendation.
What kind of plastic was it that
just
you used?
Nice.
Let's see. Let me think. How do you describe plastics? Plastic is plastic. Well, it wasn't a bag of crisps. You know if you're putting down a floor, like you put under the floor. Sometimes you put a layer of thin plastic down.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a plain plastic, or it's not tarp.
No, it's not that. It was thin, clear plastic that I bought from building supplies place. It's stuff that's used on floors or on...
You use this, when you're painting your house, you use
you could put it down on the floor to cover the floor. Yeah, you could use it for something like that. But yeah, I did. It came in these long rolls, and I bought more than I needed when I was doing up the house, and I was like, what do I do with all these big rolls of plastic? And I was like, I'll just roll it out and leave it all in the back garden and pour it. So instead of spray water on it and let the kids slide up and down for the afternoon. And kind of they had their fun, and
nice.
Everyone else looks at you like you're completely insane because nobody does that.
That's awesome.
That's
the problem there. Everybody's trying to be average. You gotta be.
Oh, what a statement! Everybody's trying so hard to be average, right?
It's like nobody does that. I know. That's why I'm doing it.
And people are just open-mouthed, and they take a step back, and they're like, "What? And they scratch their head and kind of walk away in a puzzled manner, like you're putting a door between these two rooms. You're connecting the bottom floor to the top floor. Oh my God. So, yeah, right. What? You're improving. Oh, no, if they improve their home, we have to improve our home. Oh my God. Oh no.
Jonas.
The Jonas. Oh no! Well, if everybody improves their place, then the property values will go up. Yeah, but we don't want to improve our place. We like it just the way that it is. We know it's falling apart, but we love it. Okay, whatever.
So that's so fun. It's so fun. We're just everywhere today.
All over the shop.
Yeah. All over.
It was supposed to be parenting. It should be parenting.
Yeah.
So
Well, hey, you know what's funny? That's exactly what parenting is.
Right?
It's all over the place.
oh
Yep.
It's like you have a plan for something, and then the kids pee themselves, and now you got to go take them to the shower.
and you got to get the wet clothes
It's
off.
multitasking.
My
Oh
kids won't wear
man,
clothes.
it's
My two
crazy.
girls won't wear clothes now. They just run
Oh
up. They
man,
just whenever we put clothes on them, they wear them for 5 minutes and just take them all off and run around naked all the time.
My 4-year-old is doing the same thing. When he came home from splashing in the water, he
Yeah.
took all his clothes off, and we
No.
kept telling him to get dressed, and he wouldn't. He was just running all over the house naked.
I don't know where my kids
Watching
get it
too
from
many
because
stupid
I'm not
videos.
doing that. So, I don't know. I don't know. They just seem to like it.
Yeah.
Like the 3-year-old came into the bedroom about where I am right now about an hour ago and said, "Right, that's it. I'm going to bed." And
Yeah.
she took her clothes off and went into bed and lay down for 10 minutes and then got up and said, "Right, that's it. I'm going somewhere else." And off she went. And okay, mind of their own.
Well, they kind of do have minds of their own. Otherwise, it'd be very problematic.
But you don't want them to be the same because that needs to be carried. I don't want my kids to agree with me. I mean, that worries me.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, what do you
Yeah.
think? They're like, we like it. We agree with you. I'm like, no, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm an authority figure. You're supposed to hate me. No, we like it. Okay. And our house is full of balloons right now because of birthdays, right? Because of birthdays and
Yeah, birthdays. We just talked about that earlier.
yeah. Look, I'm where I am right now. I just like do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. The balloons in every room. The balloons got everywhere, and it's
Mhm.
my daughters are just going around with balloons, like just got the balloon. They won't wear clothes, but they want to just carry balloons around constantly now. So that's their thing. They have to have a balloon, and if I don't have a balloon, they have to bring me one and say, "Daddy, you don't have a balloon. Here's a balloon. Thank you very much."
Maybe you need to make clothes out of balloons.
How do you do that?
I don't know. Just thought of it. Spandex.
Could be. I don't know. I don't. Here's a thought, right? Just a weird passing thought. When I was a kid and we had parties and we had balloons, the balloons would last for like 2 or 3 days, and then they'd be like all shriveled up.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I don't know what they make the balloons out of. In our old house, we had balloons that like for a year did not go down. Right.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, that's obviously a different material from whatever it was. It was years ago.
That's insane.
It is kind of insane, but it's kind of cool because you want the balloons to kind of stay up, and so the kids can play with them and have some fun and remember there was a party and do their thing basically, and throw them in.
How do you get them from popping them?
Not a problem here. Kids have no inclination to destroy the balloons at all. I don't know why.
It could be a boy thing. I have an 8-year-old and a almost 4-year-old son, and balloons would last like 5 minutes in my house.
Well, I've noticed if there are two brothers, they tend to be sort of very competitive, maybe slightly more physical, right? I've just something that I noticed. So I've got one son and two daughters, and I think the son is less physical because he has 2 younger daughters and needs to be careful. But I don't know if that plays out into things. I don't know. What's everyone else's thought?
Well, my boys are rambunctious and like to destroy things. And like to climb up the walls and do backflips and front flips. And my daughter, she's only 1.5. She likes to try to keep up with them. I mean, she was like climbing on the couch and trying to jump off, and we had to catch her a couple times over the weekend. We thought she was going to fall off. We'd taken them to a bounce house for a birthday party. And I think she was mad that she was too little to go in the bounce houses. So she came home and was jumping on the couch.
Okay. What's a bounce house? Help me out. What's
a bounce house? Is like a jumping castle.
Yeah.
Where They have them at carnivals sometimes, where it's like a huge inflatable castle, and the kids can jump.
Yeah, okay,
and
like a
A
bouncy
bouncy house
castle
is
thing.
like an
agreed.
indoor jumping castle playground where they have all kinds of like things they can go in and jump in and climb up and slide down, and that are all inflatable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. That's cool. Hey, do your kids use beds as trampolines?
Yeah.
Yes, mattresses, couches, anything they can get there.
And are you down with that and cool with that? Because I just think that's the best thing ever, and I'm jealous of my kids that they can jump up and down on the bed like a trampoline. Because if I did it, I'd break the bed, and there would be much sadness and confusion, and there would be a hole in my wallet, right? If that happened. But I've heard from a lot of other people though, don't let the kids jump on the bed. Oh no, you can't let. Oh no, it's going to mess up the bed. It's like, who cares, right? I mean, if we don't have an actual trampoline, then the next best thing is to invent your own.
Agreed. Yeah.
The bed.
I think it also depends on the type of mattress. If the mattress is, has spring in it, which gives them a good bounce. But I think the mattresses we got for the kids are just foam based, so there's not a lot of rebounding. They can't really jump much off of it.
It depends what kind of bed you got. Like if you got like one of these modern kind of hard beds, it's difficult. But we've got this big old house with these big old beds with springs in the beds, and it's just like the bedroom is like a bouncy house, right? Basically, and the kids use the beds as trampolines kind of every day. So it gets some of the energy out of them, which is kind of good. I suppose. I don't know what else they would do. I mean, it's that, or they end up locking each other in the cupboards or something. But that's the way it goes. Can you go to those like those big markets that sell all like the home furnishing stuff? Can you go to those places and can you test the beds by bouncing up and down on them, or are the people going to freak out?
I don't know. We'll have to go try and see and report back.
Send the kids. The kids will have fun doing that. That'll be something to talk about.
Dad, get this mattress is the best jumper of all.
Oh yeah, well why not? Beds are boring otherwise, so they kind of make it interesting.
Well, they're supposed to be boring, so it helps you fall asleep.
Well, somebody forgot to tell our kids that.
I know. They're just trying to stay away from being bored.
They're inventive, creative. I mean, that's their place, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's an amazing place to be, because that's where the creation happens, right?
Oh well, nothing is what it says it is, in the sense that the I don't know, the tin for chocolate biscuits is in fact a spaceship, right? In the mind of the child, or I'm trying to think what my kids have done recently. I don't know. Everything is something else. Yeah. Like they take it and repurpose it as something completely. The lampshade is a hat, or.
I actually love that about kids.
Oh yeah, I mean it's part of their process. I mean, creation and destruction is what kids do all the time, and creative play, I think, is a little bit like experimentation. You see how it is. Like my mother gave my kids this little wooden toy to play with, and the first thing my kids did was stress test it. Right? Like, does this part come off? Does that part come off? And my mother was like, "That's not how it works." I'm like, "Well, they're doing what it is they do." Right. When my son was, how old was he? 3 or something. I wanted him to be like digitally literate, and I wanted him to have experience with things. So I had this old like laptop computer. So I turned it on and left it, and I wanted to see what he would do with it. I wanted to see, if he'd figure out how it works, or he'd do something else with it. And the first thing was rip all the keys off it. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. It's
not
awesome.
quite what I imagined was going to happen, but
to him it made perfect sense.
Sorry, come again?
I missed that. Can you repeat that?
Oh, I said, but to him it made perfect sense. to see what the keys, to rip off the keys?
Well, you want to. I guess you're exploring what's underneath everything. Everything as well. I mean, I don't think you can expect to have things tidy, organized, and clean with kids around at all. I mean, fingerprints on the wall, food in strange places, the biscuits under the bed, and who knows what you're going to find where, right? Because
yeah,
the stuff from one cupboard in another cupboard. I was saying to somebody earlier today, half the stones from the beach are in the kids' bedroom. They fill the pockets full of stones when they go to the beach, and they come back and, for no reason that I can work out, just seem to be moving the beach stone by stone into our house. So they've got their own way of getting it all done. What else is on your parenting minds? What else has been happening recently?
Callie?
I'm not sure. I might need to see what my water's doing downstairs. Actually,
don't.
Oh, okay.
Don't feel like you have to stay on the conversation if your house is sinking or floating away or something. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just. I might just have to run down there and check that out here, but I'll come back and see where you guys are at.
Okay.
If you're on, or if you're not, or
sure.
Whatever. So, thanks. It was fun,
okay.
guys.
Give us a progress report.
Fantastic. And I mean, it'd be cool to know. Like, I think I talked to Graham last time, and you told me how many kids you have. And is it get easier the more you have?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm adding one more to my bunch here come spring.
Nice.
Easier. I think you just get more used to it, but I don't know if easier is the right word.
Yeah, I guess. I think you're right.
I think as you have more kids, it sort of becomes some kind of investment in your own future. That's kind of how I see it. So, it's this idea that you know that there will probably be something there for you. Maybe if you don't know, you're not sure about your work, or maybe other things in your life are interchangeable. If you have kids, it's looking towards some kind of stability, hopefully, if everything works out okay. Hopefully.
My number 2 child just came back from school.
Right now. So what's the time where you are?
It's 2:50.
2:50.
So he goes to preschool.
Okay.
So he's done around 1:30.
Okay, that's cool. So does somebody does somebody pick him up? He comes back. Does he get dropped off, or walk back, or?
Yeah, his grandmother picks him up. I drop him off. Usually I'm not at home.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
And he was asking. He was actually asking me today. He's like, "How come you and Mama don't pick me up? How come my granny picks me up? And you guys drop."
Well, that gives us space. It gives us a little bit of space that otherwise we wouldn't have.
Yeah. It does.
And if you've got other family members around, that's a really cool thing to have, because
it is.
It is even if you get like only 30 minutes extra a day, it makes a giant difference, because that's a little bit more space or time to do whatever it is that people need to do. And if you're working and you're busy and you've got most people have deadlines to meet, and not only that, you've got your family deadlines as well, because there's like everyone's got to make sure that there's food on the shelf and the washing gets done, and there's going to be some food for dinner, and everything just has to keep moving.
Exactly.
And planning and organization.
It does help.
Move here, go there, pick up stuff. It's endless.
Well, what's cool is that he loves doing things with me. So whenever I'm building anything in my workshop, he's hanging out. And so I had done this. I had built this thing, and I shot videos of me working on this thing. And everyone
was it the beehive, or was it something?
This was a bike stand.
Uh-huh.
So when I was doing the voiceover for it, I was like, you know what? He wouldn't let me go. So I'm like, I had already written down the script. So I was like, how about I have him do the voiceover? So now he's like engaged. I'm reading off what I want him to say and recording the whole thing up, right? And then, so he's basically saying exactly what I'm telling him to say. So now I've got all of this audio recorded. Then what I did is I cut it up. I took out all my voice, right? I just used his voice, laid it on top of the video, and then I put some subtitles on it. And now this is a video with him talking about it. And everybody's like, whoa, how did you get him to
That's
narrate
smart,
all of this?
That's really smart.
because editing, yeah, it was so good. I'll link it to it in the messenger. Yeah, we have 3 SD cards. Yeah, so that was awesome, and that was almost a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, I think. So I'm wondering if he can pronounce some other words better.
You can do another little one, right?
Yeah. Have him do some.
Yeah, I tried to put my
readings.
camera a couple of times, and they won't do anything direct into camera or microphone, right? They're just not. I don't know if it's too abstract, or they're just not interested, or whatever. That might even be the same thing. And what I have done is like film them from a distance doing things, and it's kind of interesting to observe how they do things. And we do a lot of little sort of teamwork activities between the kids, and I try to film what it is that they do, and just as kind of a memory for me, because
exactly.
Because I know that everyone says, just don't worry about recording stuff, just focus on being in the moment. But when you're kids, there are so many in the moments, right?
It's nonstop moments.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nonstop moments, and some of them get forgotten. And last week I went through some old videos that I recorded, and like I'm about trying to save time when I do things. And what I did was I just did like a short Facebook Live video, and then I took it in after I maybe got like maybe 20 little Facebook Live videos. I downloaded them all and put them all together and made like one video for YouTube from it. And and just looking at that, you forget what they do. They do stuff constantly, and it's nice to have that little memory of that little moment and see how it all comes together. Especially when you've got 3, you can't be looking at all 3 at any one time, right? So you miss little things sometimes, and when I can watch the video again, I'm like, I didn't even see that the first time.
Yeah,
so
it's amazing.
So yeah, it's just nice to have that. I took my son down to the beach at the weekend, and he got a new lightsaber for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he believes that he is a Jedi Knight at this moment in time. Maybe he will be one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And there's this old sunken house on the beach.
Yeah.
And I got him to stand on top of it and swing the lightsaber and do all those like Jedi moves and stuff. And I made a little film of it. And
that's awesome.
And it's just nice to have that moment. It's nice to be able to record that, and I think he appreciates it as well, because I'm saying I'm into what you're doing. I really like it. I appreciate the effort and the energy that you're putting into it, and the fantasy that's involved in it. I really like all that stuff, and hopefully he'll appreciate it as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What I had done, I wanted to do a series of videos this past summer with my older son, and we have this book of science experiments, and he loves doing experiments. So I was like, we'll do videos of these experiments, and you can talk about it and do the experiment on video. So we were able to do one such video, and he was into it, and he was like talking to the audience, and basically it's pretty funny. I wanted to do more of those. Now, and then what I also did, I got him a little camera so he can like do the videos himself and take pictures and whatnot. And then anytime we go to swim class, I'll turn on Facebook Live and we're basically talking, the two kids and I, to whoever's on there. So then yesterday he had the camera on the mount and he has the video running. He's like, hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some breakfast. So he goes, gets breakfast. And basically he's just talking to the camera. And I was like, that's pretty awesome.
It shows a level of awareness and understanding. Right? It shows.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty abstract concept that there's someone here who's not here or someone there who's not here or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's a pretty hard concept for them to understand. So once they...
Not really, not anymore, because, these kids are growing up on FaceTime.
Yeah.
Right? They're their grandparents and whatnot, they want to talk to them. And they're usually looking at a phone screen.
When we talked before, did we talk about the difference in... I can't remember who it was I talked with. I talked to somebody about the difference in the technology of growing up, in the sense of, if I wanted to watch a film, and when I was a kid, and if it was on TV, I had to plan to sit down and watch it. And if it was on at the cinema and I didn't see it at the cinema, then I'd have to wait like 2 years to, for it to come on TV or to go and rent a video, watch it or something like that. And now, we have a hard disk with, more, like every film in history, it feels like, is on the hard disk, and the kids have access to all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, whenever they want it or need it, and
everything.
I was trying to explain that to my son, because he was, what did you watch? What was your favorite film? And I was like, well, I'd only, there were only like 4 or 5 films, right? That that I could choose from, because there was just maybe there wasn't even a cinema near where I grew up, right? So it was all, you borrowed a video from somebody, or it was just something that was on television, and that was it. And now, I've just downloaded 5 series of Paw Patrol. I don't know if you know what that is. You get.
Yeah, I know what that is. I know what that is.
I don't,
come on.
the world is big and small at the same time, right? So,
it is so big and it is so small. It's amazing, because everybody has access to Netflix.
Yeah, that's true.
Netflix is everywhere, right? And kids all over the world are growing up on the same few shows.
Yeah, and
hundreds of shows.
You can argue whether that's good or bad. I mean, it's hard to say.
It is. It's a double-edged sword, right? You have to manage it. You have to manage expectations. You have to manage what they're learning from it. Give it a context, because that some of the things that's missing from this new generation is that patience and boredom and context from the perspective of religion, or I don't know.
The boredom is an interesting point that you bring up, because I personally believe it's good to be bored, and I've had this debate with people. That stimulates you to be creative. I think that going through boredom stimulates you to find something to do that interests you, rather than just doing whatever and filling your time with whatever, because nothing really matters. You have to actually find something that you care about in some way, or get involved in something that you care about in some way. So, because I've talked to people who are like, oh, we have to plan this and plan that, and I'm like, well, I don't really plan too much, because I think that it's good to go through that experience of, what am I going to do with my time?
Yeah.
I think it's really good to get kids to think about, what am I going to do with my time? How am I going to use it effectively?
And one of the lessons that my son had to learn the hard way was 2 weeks ago. he was playing outside with his friends, his neighborhood friends. And I told him, hey, it's Friday. We have to go to Cub Scouts. And he's like, no, I don't want to go. I'm playing with my friends. So I told him, are you 100% sure you don't want to go? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. Don't push me. It's like, okay, you've made the decision that you're going to stay home or you're going to play with your friends over here. So I come inside. 10 minutes later, he comes inside. And he's like, Dad, can we go to Cub Scouts? I was like, nope, you already made your decision that you're going to, do this. He's like, but, they can't play anymore.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
I know, but you made your decision, and
consequences.
That's what's gonna happen. Consequences. Hold on one second. I'm getting a phone call. Hey, so sorry. I forgot I had a 3:00 appointment. And I was like, who's this calling me? So I got to take my son upstairs and we'll have to continue this conversation.
That's not a problem. This is it's good to explore things. It's good to talk. And I know. One second.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Jazz?
Yeah.
What's up? What are you up to?
I blew my nose.
You blew your nose? Yeah? Did you?
By myself.
All by yourself? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible. Are you using the bed as a trampoline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ouchie.
Ouch.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay, mate. Yeah, we'll sort it out. You gotta go.
We'll sort it out. Yep. Okay.
We'll sort it out. It'll be
right.
done.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, send me a copy. Send me a copy when you get a chance.
You got it. I'll send you a copy. Yeah.
Okay, do it, Don. Take care.
Okay. All right. Bye.